Yes.
Do we know each other, or are we strangers to each other?
Very good question. The three of you did not grow up together, but you have met regularly at events hosted by the Godfather Bo, and you know quite a few of the people in the crowd, especially the people in the smaller room. In fact,
Okay.
that would be a good time before we go down to the next room to introduce what you know about your characters so far. So we'll start with Marcus again.
Oh, my character is named Phok Tin Lung. I am a scholar, level 3, with apparently an emphasis in strategist. I am human. I carry a long sword and a hand crossbow, wearing leather armor, and very nice clothes.
All right, Dean?
Sure. So my character's name is Leung Sing Bo. I am a Taoist, level 3. I have a monastic upbringing. I like to think that I am wearing monk's attire, and I am carrying a wooden sword, or what appears to be a wooden sword. It is certainly wooden and worn in the position a sword would normally be worn, but its actual appearance is a bit of a mystery right now, as it is still in a sheath through the sash around his waist. I'm a human, and I think that's about all that I really know about this guy so far.
All right, and Porter?
Elvis says hello. I'm a human. I grew up as a farmer, but I have magic in my blood. The rest will be revealed.
Tinlong.
I will use my bonus action first for Essay Assailant. I'm going to take a moment to look at this leader and see what I can figure out about him, see if I can see any potential weaknesses.
Okay.
And then step in and sheath my sword, and as I draw, cut right across his head.
All right.
Let me do this. Oh!
All right, as you do your best to evaluate his weaknesses from your training and strategy, and you try to lunge at him with your sword, and he dodges back at the last moment, making your attack completely ineffective. Leung Sing Bo, you have the ability as a Taoist to create amulets, and at third level, you have the knowledge of 2 amulets. One of them is effective against undead, and the other is effective at aiding your companions. The undead one at first level only works like a turn undead, but at third level it starts doing damage every turn. But you need to, as an action, you pull out a paper, you write the amulet, and you make an attack roll to attach it to one of the undead creatures. On its next turn, if it fails a saving throw, a dexterity saving throw, then it will take damage from that amulet. And at higher levels, it will start to do, the damage will increase.
Perfect. So I can create these amulets. Okay, perfect. But it's a melee attack to attach them. Is that true?
That's correct. Next is Tinlong.
Okay. I will step forward to here. Noticing your amulet attempt, say, "You're welcome to try my calligraphy tools if you think they would work better." And then I use my bonus action to assailant on this zombie number 2? Zombie number 1, 17. Feature, say assailant. That's as a bonus action. And then draw my hand crossbow and fire at that one.
All right.
That looks like a miss. Maybe not.
No, a 13. A 13 will hit. All right.
It would have been a miss except for the assailant. Okay, nice.
Leung Sing Bo, it's your turn.
Perfect. So, after seeing this kind of carnage in front of me, I briefly find myself a bit frightened and unsure of what to do. And so to kind of correct that, I'm going to pull out another small piece of paper and write another character on it, a mystical character. But this time, instead of attaching it to the zombie in front of me, I attach it to myself. And I use an amulet of anointing. An amulet of anointing, as an action, I create an amulet capable of bolstering my allies with toughness and resolve. I'm guessing that can be me as well?
Yeah, anyone target, including yourself.
Perfect. The target's hit point maximum and current hit points increase by 5 for the duration.
And that is all that I have prepared for this first playtest session. Lots of things.
That's fantastic, Brian.
Thanks, guys, for coming. Any comments? Anything that stood out that you liked or think that could be improved?
I think the astute counsel function could be incredibly fun to roleplay.
Oh yeah.
Useful, yeah. I mean, useful. It's a +2, or it's basically +2. You can add your proficiency bonus to someone else's attack and damage, but only 3 times a day at this level. It's 3 times a day per long rest. So it's a minor bonus. It's helpful, but it's just I get the feeling it could be a lot of fun to roleplay.
Mm.
Yeah, I really liked the amulet thing. I dug it. I do wonder, so the thing that would make me nervous as a player about this is the lack of healing. And I wonder if there is a way to work a healing amulet into that character as well, or if you have other mechanisms in mind.
I was planning on making a healing amulet as an option.
I really dig the character concept, though. I like that he's sort of, I mean, if anything, like the closest comparison that I can think of would be to a bard, right? He does a bunch of things. Mm-hmm. So a little spell casting, a little sword fighting, a little turning, a little, stuff like that. It's super interesting. I like the character concept a lot.
I'm trying to really keep with the wuxia genre and feel where basically everyone has a bit of martial arts built into them. I think that's going to be a key component writing into this setting.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. The other thing that I kept coming back to when playing this guy is I like the idea of the wooden sword. I feel like the character in his head, like if someone asked him, "Is that a stick?" he would say, "Well, yes, it's a stick." But when I use it is a sword because it is my spirit that makes it a sword. Right? That kind of concept kept coming back to me. Anyway.
I can't even remember where I originally got that idea. That's an idea that's been stuck in my head since I first started thinking about this a couple years ago. I think.
Wasn't there a legend about Musashi at the end of his life only fighting with a wooden sword?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
It's possible, and I've seen real life Taoist priests who use similar things for training. But there are also blades made out of coins tied together, and I need to do a little bit more research into that. I think that's something more specifically on affecting the undead, so I might have to make that into a magic item. Porter, any comments?
The scholar, the downside. Sorry, I used to be, or maybe I still am, a little bit of a Hong Kong action film file. Love them. Still crack me up seeing you in the Yip Man movies, Brian. I was like, holy shit, that's Brian. But anyway, the Taoist priest, particularly the rendition of the Taoist in Chinese Ghost Story 2. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yep.
Yeah, with the spirits, the young monk, the old monk. But that Taoist priest just went out and just freaking kicked ass on everything, but was only doing it for money.
Yep.
But not really even for the money, but just because he could. There's always been a Chinese character that has never really been captured in any role play. But it made me laugh. So I have to say kudos on that. Yeah. Then of course your astute advisor or scholar. With that astute advisory things, it's like, again, watching the party of bumbling heroes go through with the one guy saying, well, There's an ancient text that says, if you do this, you can get twice as much power out of your punches. Which again, it's the old or the person who knows about all this stuff, but maybe can't put it together themselves, but is able to.
Isn't really good at doing it themselves, right?
To everybody else, and it is very much, extremely entertaining. So, yeah, but that also shows, I think, captures that important cultural aspect of power of literacy and knowledge versus just prosperity and coin. Because you could be a rich merchant, but that was not nearly as important as having a being 有文化的人, the cultured and respected.
Yeah,
so
that was a very important element in Chinese culture. In fact, it's still pervasive to today. The whole examination system, and how everyone, no matter how humble a beginning they started with, by studying and working hard, they can become anything that they want. And that's something that I'm working on adding into that class.
But yeah, it has that. It brings that flavor. The sorcerer, they've always just kind of been this aberrant thing that I've seen, at least in the Chinese piece. So I'm gonna have to kind of think about the background, having been from a farmer, because they were bad luck. Having someone like that around, bad luck, and a lot of times it was a Taoist priest that came around to straighten out the thing, because you
cage match.
What's that?
Cage match.
So, because it's this person with this aberrant or unnatural or actual natural ability to tap into this power that other people couldn't see.
Right.
That whole what was it? The man's the Morpha. I don't know. Is it Morpha? Yeah, the sorcery. Yeah, Morpha. Like Mogwai would be the little devil people.
Right.
Morpha that it's still an evil spirit kind of.
Did you say Mogwai? Mogwai?
Mogwai is Cantonese of Mogwai for
like
man.
The name
means.
The name of the creature from Gremlins. Right.
Yeah.
That's where that word comes from.
I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah, it comes from little goblin things. Yeah. So yeah, it's very fun to see, but to hit, I guess, unless someone studied Asian studies to a degree, they won't fully appreciate the nuances of the character. I'm not saying you Dean and Marcus don't, because they're actually having a lot of fun with it, and Kenneth and Peace. But like I said, I don't know what you have written, but to a Western audience, it's going to take a little more priming so they actually understand these cultural nuances that come so naturally to you.
Mm-hmm. And that's the whole purpose of the Kickstarter.
Yeah, and Andy, for what it's worth, you're absolutely right. Like, I had a ton of fun playing the character, but a lot of the kind of, I felt like there was, I felt like it was a reference to a cultural archetype that I just didn't have a lot of access to. And so I was kind of making it up as I go along, right? Which is fine and part of the fun of D&D, but you're absolutely right. I think that, to a Western audience, and maybe I'm projecting my own inadequacies onto an entire Western audience, if so, guilty. But yeah, I feel like there was probably depths to that character archetype that I just didn't have access to.
But once you started picking up on it, though, you're able to take it and run with it.
And in your character classes, you can give some kind of a contextual background like that. It could help people to understand it better.
Yeah.
Because, Dean, you're not projecting your inadequacies on the entire Western population. Most of them don't know there's a difference between Cantonese and Mandarin.
That's fair. That's fair.
Fair enough. Yeah.